Alright, so over the last week or two, we've gotten enough new cards to do another one of these videos. I'm pretty sure they'll be doing the official card reveal, the community card reveal season really soon, so we'll be able to have more of these out. But for now, let's just start with what we got. To start off, we have the new Shaman quest. We have two quests to look at today, but we'll start with the one that we saw first. The Shaman quest is Corrupt the Waters. And the quest objective is to play 6 Battlecry cards. Battlecry cards, so it doesn't have to be minions. If you have something else that has a Battlecry on it, you can play that too. And the reward is the new hero power, Heart of Vernal, which is 2 mana. Your Battlecries trigger twice this turn. Does anybody else hear the shudder walks? My jaws, they bite, and my claws, they catch. This is obviously going to be really good in any Shudderwalk deck. Like, that's obviously the first place to go. For Standard, they don't care about Shudderwalk. Maybe some other kind of Battle Cry Shaman. But in Wild, this is clearly going to be powerful. Shudderwalk was already reasonably strong. Maybe it's not, like, top tier right now, but who knows where this is going to put it. You can do a lot more with a lot less Shudderwalks with this, because you pay 2 mana for the rest of your Shudderwalks for the turn to be 2 Shudderwalks. And that's ridiculous. So, on top of the fact that this is just a crazy card for, like, combos or something, for people to come up with wacky, kooky ideas, this just makes Shudderwalk a lot stronger. Alright, now we have 2 cards that we just saw yesterday. We have a new Warlock spell, Imp Balming, for 4 mana. Destroy a minion, and then shuffle 3 worthless imps into your deck. And if you remember from Sense Demons, worthless imps are 1 mana 1/1s. So this is like Blast Crystal Potion. It's the same mana for the same effect, except you get to keep your mana crystal, which means it's a lot better to play early on. But how bad is the drawback of this? Well, that's a really difficult subject to discuss, because on one hand it's a drawback and on the other hand it's not. One hand, you don't want to draw worthless imps from your deck. They're worthless. But if you're playing a fatigue game, putting worthless imps into your deck puts more cards in your deck, so it delays fatigue as well. With the new quest, which is this is obviously designed for, to draw cards, you can draw more cards without drawing cards through your deck. So the quest becomes more effective as well. You could do some kind of meme with this and like plot twist or something, or put a bunch of imps into your deck to change into legendaries with Rafam. So I can see this in like by itself in most cases. Putting imps into your deck is generally a drawback, especially like later in the game where you don't want to be drawing something worthless. But remember, Warlock is the class that can deal with this by pressing their hero power button, and then they just get a different card instead. So I can see Imp Balming just being really good, especially if you make a deck that works around the drawback rather than it just letting it be a problem. Next up, we have Earthquake, a 7 mana Shaman board clear, which is deal 5 damage to all minions, and then again it will deal 2 damage to all minions. So, first things first, balance-wise, obviously it can deal damage to your stuff, but ignoring that, because you're going to play this in a control shaman, which that doesn't matter, this is a Flame Strike that does 7 damage. It's just a Flame Strike with +3 spell damage on it, just tacked onto it, just because it can. But, more importantly, the reason the card is designed like this is so the first damage will trigger. Any other minions with like Death Rattle or the new Reborn will resolve their Death Rattle or Reborn, have their new thing spawn if they have something spawn from it, and then the 2 damage will come in after that, so the 2 damage will be able to deal with like any Death Rattle minions or Reborn. It seems to be deceptively designed to, if you have spell damage, that it'll get double bonus from spell damage, but it's not that. If the minion with spell damage is not going to survive the first tick of damage, it's not going to affect the second tick of damage. Regardless, that doesn't matter. This is still probably a good card. Is it better than the other Shaman board clears? I don't know. Hagatha's Scheme is cheaper, but this you don't have to wait for. I guess it's conditional based on the deck, but I'd like to think that Hagatha's Scheme is better. I don't think that there's going to be enough cases, unless they print a lot of good Reborn minions, to where this is going to matter. So probably just play Hagatha's Scheme or Volcano, honestly. Okay, next we have 3 more cards from today, and we're going to start off with the new Mage Quest, which is probably my favorite card of this video. I don't know, it's tied with the other quest. Raid the Sky Temple. The quest is to cast 10 spells, just any spells. Just any spells, and the reward is Ascendant Scroll, a hero power that is essentially a primordial glyph. It's add a random mage spell to your hand. It costs 2 less, so it's not discovered like primordial glyph, but it's a hero power that will continuously get you random spells. And I don't know that that's good. It feels to me like an upgrade over the regular mage hero power, and it's not that hard to get this quest off. Whether or not it's competitively viable is not in my territory to say. It seems like a lot of fun, though. You know what card wants you to have spells that you generate? The other mage quest. So you could literally run both quests, not put in cards that generate spells, or do it if you want to, if they're good enough, and then just you play Raid the Sky Temple, you get this, and then you play Open the Waygate, and then you complete the quest with your new hero power, and then it's easy. I'm sure there'll be some kind of fun deck. I'm gonna make a fun deck with this. I love this card. Next up, we have Weaponized Wasp, a 3-mana Shaman minion, which is a beast, and it is Battlecry. If you control a lackey, deal 3 damage. 3 mana, 3/3. So this is obviously quite strong if you can get it off. It's very similar to Merkspark Eel from the Witchwood, except you don't have to design a deck around it, except Merkspark Eel is easier to get off on curve because this has a condition based on the board state and not on the deck. So if you want to get this off on curve, you need to generate a lackey on 1 or 2 somehow, and then you need to have that lackey alive on 2 to go into turn 3 to play this and have its battle cry on 3. This is obviously still good after 3, but to play it on curve is not as easy as Merkspark Eel, but the payoff is still very strong tempo. So this card, if lackeys are strong enough, which I'm pretty sure they're going to be printing more lackey cards, is going to be very strong. All right, and the last card of the day is Bees. Did you want a better Shadow Bolt for Druid? Here you go. It's a Shadow Bolt with more flexibility and synergy options. It's obviously not affected by spell damage like Shadow Bolt is, but when did that ever matter, honestly? And when would that ever matter in Druid either? So this has a lot of flexibility for what you can do with the bees that you summon. So first off, they showed in the video that you could play something like Knife Juggler, and then as each bee summons, it triggers the Knife Juggler, so you do more damage. Or you could play this with Raid Leader, which seems bad, but you could do it and it'd do twice as much damage. Or you could play this with what was that card called? Cult Master? The one that draws cards from minions that die? You could play that. You could 6 mana, play an Acolyte of Pain, and then shoot your Acolyte of Pain with this because it's choose a minion, not an enemy minion. You can target your own minions with this. You can draw 3 cards and then summon a 1/1. I don't think that's good. I think the Cult Master strat is better, but it's something you can do. Regardless, there's a bunch of stuff you can do with bees that's probably pretty good in some kind of token Druid. All right, that's going to be it for this video. We should be getting into community card reveal season soon. We might get a few more cards revealed before community card reveal season, but if it's not enough cards, I'm just going to tack those cards onto the first video about community cards. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.